Welcome back to another episode on the MLD Balls page. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about why the Philadelphia 76ers got no more excuses. All right, so like I said, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Philadelphia 76ers and why this team just had one of the best off seasons and why they have no excuses on why they can't win a championship in the 2025 NBA season. This is the one of the few teams that we've been talking about so far that actually have a legit chance at winning a ring, being a finals contender, having a finals MVP on their team next season. Everybody, hey, winning the finals is a huge accomplishment, and this is a team that have everything to fit their star players, not just one of their stars, all of their stars. All of their star players are in positions to win. I mean, Joel Embiid. Let's start it off with the big guy from Cameroon. Shout out to you winning your first ever. You finally won first place in something with being on the USA team. So shout out to the Cameroon big. Next to him, we have Tyrese Maxey, who's a closer, and we've seen in the New York Knicks series where Joel Embiid closing games is just something that he doesn't excel at. We had Tyrese Maxey be your guard who's creating off of the advantages that Embiid was giving. And next to that, he has Paul George next to him also, which is a wing who could play defense and let Joel Embiid just be big. He has two perimeter creators that could shoot the ball well right next to him. And Tyrese Maxey, he has a wing who could help him with defense, which he doesn't strive at. And he has Joel Embiid, who helps him at defense, which he doesn't strive at. And he feeds off of all of Joel Embiid's gravity. And then Paul George, he has a guard who could create for him, which he isn't a number one creating option. And he has a big who could create for him, while he has a big who could play defense and do the dirty work and rebound down low for him. And these guys, all three complement each other, and all three of them are all-stars. Not all-star level players, they are all-stars, all three of those guys. Joel Embiid is a Hall of Fame. All of these guys, man, this is an amazing big three, one of the few big threes we have in the NBA legitimately, and this team is going to work out. Paul George is one of those guys who, in my opinion, I call him a super role player. I think he reminds me of Zachary Risache, who just got drafted at pick 1 of the NBA draft, which a lot of people they ask me who does Zachary Risache remind you of? He gives me a lot of Paul George, one of those guys who just plugs and plays, fits perfectly on teams. If you don't want to listen to that example, you got Bruce Bowens of the world. Like Paul George is one of those guys who I think he is very easy to put on the NBA team, and he could fit almost anywhere. And literally, these guys needed this. This is literally what they needed. And the 76ers, they went into this last season with Joel Embiid. I didn't like the option of playing him in the playoffs, knowing that you weren't even all in on the season. Because when they let James Harden go, they had a lot of cap space. That they were still they had a lot of cap space during the playoffs, which is unusual for a team that you think would be contending. And then Joel Embiid is putting his body on the line. I feel like Joel Embiid is putting more on the line than the team is, which is a bad option in my opinion. Because if you get hurt out there, my boy, they are your life changes. You may not get paid the same you would have. So don't think that's something that he should be doing. But he goes out and does it either way. But and then shout out to Embiid. Either way, this trio, they fit amazingly next to each other. And then next to this trio, they have 2 3-and-D wings. Like they have Caleb Martin, who a lot of people are looking at him as a power forward for this team. And like this is the starting lineup positional wise to me. I do think these are the 5 guys that plug and play the best with each other, because Caleb Martin, he's a 6'5" forward. For anyone who doesn't know about Caleb Martin, he came from the Miami Heat, my favorite team. Watched Caleb Martin for the past couple of years. He is a good shooter. He's undersized power forward. I hated him at power forward. Absolutely hated him at power forward. Very undersized power forward. He's 6'5" and will play power forward. So Philadelphia fans, don't don't expect him to be a power forward. They may list him there, but he's gonna be your shooting guard, small forward, especially with Kelly Oubre on that team. Kelly Oubre loves to bang. Or all right, no Diddy. That sounded weird, but Kelly Oubre, he's willing to like be physical, and Paul George isn't able to do that, or not. He's able to do it, but he doesn't want to. So he's mentally unable to do it. And Kelly Oubre is one of those guys. He's one of the more physical players in the NBA, so he can play power forward next to Joel Embiid. And yeah, this is a good lineup because Caleb Martin's a physical shooting guard. Paul George, he is a physical small forward. If I'm going to be honest, he just doesn't want to bang with the centers and stuff like that. That's just what it is. And then off the bench, they have two of the most physical players, in my opinion, or maybe the most physical player off the bench, one of the best bench players in the NBA, the best backup center in the league. Fight me on about it. Fight me. Andre Drummond is the best backup center in the NBA. Actually, no. We're living in a world where Daniel Gafford is a backup center, but Andre Drummond is a really good backup center for a minimum contract. All right. Ignore the last comment I said. No matter what, Andre Drummond is one of the best contracts in the league, man. I was watching back the Bulls versus the Pistons. I was watching back a couple Bulls games last week. I was just bored. And Andre Drummond he is really good, y'all. One of the best rebounders of all time. One of the best rebounders ever. And I got a question for y'all. If you're a good rebounder, does that make you a good defender? Is Andre Drummond one of the better defenders in the NBA to y'all? Because I just a question. Does being a good rebounder make you a better defender? Because Andre Drummond, he's one of the best rebounders of all time. And I want to see, what do y'all think about him as a defender? Kyle Lowry, he's another physical guard. Very physical, another Heat Nation player. So yeah, he gonna take a lot of charges for you. He's a good rebounder, he's a good leader, he can shoot the ball well. He's a good playmaker, of course. Kyle Lowry finished off the season in Philadelphia. Y'all know who Kyle Lowry is. Kyle Lowry is the same player, but all the attributes are down. That's just what it is. But his toughness is still there. His 3-pointer is still there. His ability to drive is gone. It's zapped, took it away. But his 3-pointer is still there and playmaking, so that's good. He's in the same realm of like Mike Conley, but y'all already knew that. I'm talking too much about Kyle Lowry. Eric Gordon is still a good shooter, good shooter, and yeah, if you could do that as well as him, you're gonna find yourself a spot in the NBA. Ricky Council is somebody who was balling in the summer league. Believe it or not, I was watching some Philadelphia 76ers summer league games and them at the end of the season last year because we were fighting with them, and we ended up losing the fight. And yeah, y'all took away Jimmy Butler. Yeah, whatever. Either way, Ricky Council, I do think he's going to have a spot on this team as a backup forward because that is a spot that they need to upgrade. But I made this video knowing that they're going to find a forward. This team literally has one of the best general managers of all time, maybe the best general manager of our generation. I don't think I've seen somebody do as well as Daryl Morey at getting his star players. No excuses. Daryl Morey has just been getting the most unfortunate star players, which is funny because he goes to these situations and give them everything they want and need, and they just don't come through for whatever reason. Because whatever happens. But either way, Ricky Council, really good forward off the bench. And I do think, like I said, they're going to find somebody because they already are in talks with Marcus Morris, which is literally the perfect type of player that would, be wanted on this team. So the fact that they're already talking to the right type of players lets me know they're going to get the right person with the last spot on this roster. 3-and-D forward, perfect. Literally perfect. And yeah, we move on. Jared McCain, he got drafted this year, and in the summer league, he started off so nice, but then he started playing like a rookie. So Jared McCain, I really question what's going to happen with him because he's going to change the ceiling of this team, y'all. Because Jared McCain, he legitimately, if he starts off the season hot, y'all could low-key flip him immediately, because him and Tyrese Maxey, they're both small guards, and you question that fit. But to me, this draft pick is similar to what the Kings did when they had De'Aaron Fox and took Tyrese Halliburton. Just I think he's the best player available. I don't care how big he is. we're gonna go with him because worst case scenario, we have a trade piece, or we could go and draft someone we don't like, and then he does no value for us, and we're shocked, like, hey, we didn't even like him. We just took him because he was a small forward, not gonna lie, type of pick. They took the guy who they thought was best available in Jared McCain, and he we're gonna talk about Jared McCain in a little bit. They also took Adeem Bona, who, hey, if y'all saw that lob Adeem Bona caught from that Jared McCain pass when he caught a body, I mean, Jared McCain just threw that lob like it was nothing, and Bona went young. Like, holy, that was a lit play. KJ Martin, high flyer, son of Kenyon Martin. He's still been around the league. Good for him. Reggie Jackson, shout out to Reggie Jackson. I just seen a video of him pouring candy in a bowl alongside Tyrese Maxey for showing us the NBA Cup. So, we'll see what cup group we in, or I'm not we because I'm not a Sixers fans, but I'm chatting about Reggie Jackson. He's the backup's backup. We gonna see what he ends up doing on this team. If somebody's hurt, I guess he's not a bad backup's backup. But yeah, Jeff Dotwin Jr. finally, he's the last person on this team, and I don't know nothing about him. He just seems like he's gonna come back. I think he was on contract, and he's gonna come back. And that last spot is, like I said, it's gonna be someone like a Marcus Morris. It's gonna be a forward that can shoot the ball and defend. Watch. I trust Daryl Morey that much. That I already know what the last roster spot on this team is gonna be. And let's talk about the closers on this team. Right now, it's just gonna be your starting lineup. That starting lineup is hey, this is another team that's blessed to where their closers are the same as their starters. And that means they have a great starting lineup, one of the best starting lineups in the NBA. You have, oh my goodness, you have a legitimate big three. A lot of teams, like I just said earlier, they don't have this. They don't have a guard, wing, center, big three that fits perfectly, and all you need is shooters and defenders next to that. The Philadelphia 76ers have that, and they can even go times where one of these guys are resting, one of these guys are hurt, and they'll still be afloat because all of these guys will fit. And we ain't even talk about coaching or none of that yet. The amount of advantages that the Philadelphia 76ers have against other teams with having a big three, having a top five player in the NBA, having an elite coach, having the best general manager in the NBA. The Philadelphia 76ers have everything that they want, everything that they need. They have the best backup center in the NBA. They have 3 all-stars. This team is built to win now, and y'all, this team is nice. This team is tough because we already talked about the starting lineup and how it fits so well, and just smack that right onto the closers, And now we're gonna look at the rotation because this shows you how the team's gonna utilize these players a little bit. You'll have a Tyrese Maxey playing with Eric Gordon for some spacing alongside Paul George. So you'll give Paul George consistent playmaker, somebody who could work with him. And then this vacant spot is going to be that forward that I think that the Philadelphia 70s, or I know that they're going to get. We just don't know who it is yet. And then Andre Drummond, Maxey, and Paul George as like your quote unquote big three off the bench. Bro, that is a tough lineup. And then you have Joel Embiid just cook. Joel Embiid can make it work with any lineup. You just get Joel Embiid and spacing. Get Joel Embiid and floor spacing. Maybe you could even put Kyle Lowry at shooting guard and let Jared McCain cook. Because Jared McCain, no matter what, he's gonna come into the league and be an elite 3-point shooter. Off rip, and he's a good defender. So we're gonna see how good of a defender he is in the NBA level. But he's gonna be one of those guys who's gritty on the defensive end, no matter what. And this team is just nice, man. Nick Nurse is obviously gonna have different rotations. This is just an idea of a rotation. Nick Nurse, top 5 coach in the league, elite head coach right there. And let's talk about the draft pick and Jared McCain. High energy guy. He reminds me of Tyrese Maxey, y'all, with the charisma, with the attitude. Y'all do know because y'all have Tyrese Maxey. So off rip, a great guy right there. He's a good glue guy because he can shoot the ball well and he could pass the ball pretty decently. He has amazing rim pressure. Like, he's very quick. He's quick All right. He's fast. He has burst. Some people are quick like Chris Paul because they know they're smarter than you and like they just see things before it happens. But Jerry McCain is like athletically gifted. Like he's actually a great athlete and his perimeter defense is good and he uses his athleticism to get to the rim. And the thing about it is how good of an athlete he is with as good of a three-point shot he has, it gives him that level of scoring, and it gives him the ability to use his 3-point threat as an option. And dude, his pump fakes are something you're gonna have to bite on. You're gonna have to close out, and when you overextend, he's gonna run right past you, and he's gonna be way faster than you, so you can't even get back to him. You can't even get back to him, and he's a great off-ball threat. I think Jared McCain is good at everything in the NBA besides being big. He's not 6'2", so he doesn't have the paint defense. He doesn't have the rebounding, but as a 6'2" guard, he gives you literally everything you would want. He's a solid playmaker. He's a he's a great 3-point shooter. Playmaking isn't a strength of his. I want to mention that it's not a strength of his, but he's a solid playmaker either way. He has a great 3-point shot. He has I know it sounds like hey, this shouldn't matter. We're talking about basketball, but he has a smile on his face all the time, which is a very positive thing to have in the locker room, on the court. And he's just always running around with a smile, and he's fast as hell while he's running. So it's like, holy, like Jared McCain is literally, he reminds me of Tyrese Maxey a good amount. He reminds me of TJ McConnell, Tyus Jones, Emmanuel Quickly is one I like because he is a solid defender. His playmaking, we're gonna see what it is in the NBA, but we know he plays defense, gets to the rim, and can shoot the three with good energy. Like that is Emmanuel Quickly to me. Tyrese Maxey. That like those are my favorite names for Jared McCain. That realm of player he is to me, and that realm of player, I don't like them working together. Like two Tyrese Maxeys on the team is not something I would want. Two Anthony Simons on the team is not something I would want. Anthony Simons is another one that I like a lot. If Jared McCain's defense isn't what it was at college, I do think Jared McCain is still going to be a better defender than Anthony Simons. But no matter what, I think Jared McCain's shooting is going to translate and his athleticism is going to also. I understand in the NBA it's better athletes, but his burst was crazy. Like, his burst is like what you need to adapt to guard, like Jared McCain is that quick. And yeah, Jared McCain is somebody who I liked in at the summer league. He played pretty well too. Just I wonder, is his shots gonna fall down in the league, and how many minutes is he gonna get? So watching Jared McCain's career is gonna be very interesting to me because he's gonna change a lot for the Philadelphia 76ers. Because like I said, if he just starts popping off as soon as this year, they could really question if they should just go all in and do the Tyrese Halliburton for Sabonis move somehow. I know with contracts, you're gonna obviously have to find somebody in his, payment range, but or they could just have a team with the best 6 man in the league, and they're just not gonna be able to close with one of their best players, because no matter what, I don't think you could close with a lineup with 6-2 backcourt, or you could, especially with Joel Embiid, you could, but do you want to, when you could just transition that to like a 6'8" wing who could, play in the closing lineup and in the starting lineup, but Jared McCain, a real good player. Before we even talk about trading him, we just got to talk about him. It's kind of messed up how the NBA is, bro. You haven't even played a regular season game, and here goes the blogger talking about how are we going to trade the rookie, but that's just the NBA, man. A great player, one of my favorite players so far in the 2024 NBA draft. And yeah, shout out to Jared McCain because you're on a team where you're going to have to watch your back, man. You're going to have to watch your back because, look, my boy Joel Embiid, you got no more excuses, man. Joel Embiid has no more excuses. We just went through that roster and talked about the big three they got. We talked about the head coaching advantage they got, the general manager advantage they got. The biggest weakness with the Philadelphia 76ers is the number one option. Compared to other number one options, he's not the best one. Compared to other coaches, Nick Nurse is one of the best. Compared to other general managers, Daryl Morey is one of the best. Compared to other co-star guards, Tyrese Maxey is one of the best. Compared to other all-star forward wings, Paul George is one of the best, or we're going to see if he does that. And we can't say he's one of the best yet because we haven't seen it on the Philadelphia 76ers, but we've seen the other stuff are one of the best. It's just their number one option out of all the number one options isn't one of the best ones. That's what it comes down to. And it's unfortunate that Joel Embiid, for whatever reason, whatever your reason might be, has been unable to come through. There's a lot of reasons because he has Al Horford as one of his reasons, somebody who's made a second career off of locking Joel Embiid up. Like, if I'm just going to be honest, his whole Boston Thunder, the reason that the 76ers got Al Horford and overpaid him is because of how good of a defender he is against Joel Embiid. And look, that's tough, man, because you got Al Horford who's locking you up in 2018. In 2019, you had the crazy shot where whatever, I guess, you cried, so it's cool, whatever. 2020, Benjamin Simmons was hurt. Benjamin is such a valuable player, and he wasn't there in 2021. He wasn't there in 2020, but in 2021, it was his fault we lost. Even though in 2020, I felt like he was such a valuable player that we were missing. In 2021, he's the entire reason we lost. Yes, I know I laughed at Jason Tatum and said that he could shoot 5 for 20 in a game and they would win by 20 points. Well, guess what? You shot 4 for 20. Like you shot 4 for 20 in game 4 and you had 25 turnovers in the last 4 games. Like, does this man Joel Embiid not look in the mirror, bro? How you gonna shoot 4 for 20 in a game and in those last 4 games have a streak where you had 25 turnovers in 4 games? And you blaming other people. Like, take some accountability, man. Why don't this man ever talk about, oh, in the fourth quarter, I don't show up. I turn over the ball a lot for a center. I don't know how to make consistent shots as a center. I know there are some centers who shoot 70% from the field goal sometimes, and I take all these hard shots and don't like to get easy shots off the pick and roll. I like to cook and cook and cook, and then sometimes in the fourth quarter it doesn't work, and then I blame other people. Like, bro, what? In 2022, I had a broken face. I had a broken face. That's the issue. People just punch me in my face. Like, you don't be out here hurting people. Man, did y'all watch that Brooklyn Nets series where Joel Embiid lost my respect as a human being, and then he backed it up again with this New York Knicks series where he was out here hurting Mitchell Robinson on purpose? Man, Joel Embiid be blaming everyone but himself. Sometimes karma's a real thing. When you keep hurting people, karma gonna happen. That's just what happens sometimes in life, especially when you intentionally try to hurt people, and then you have James Harden and Tyrese Maxey on your team. And what did you need when you were at the press conference? We need more. I had broken face, and we need more. That's why we lost. And then in 2023, what was it? Oh, James is not Houston James Harden. James Harden is not how he was in 2018. Yeah, he's not like he was in 2018. That was 5 years ago. You want Houston James Harden next to MVP Joel Embiid? Come on, man. You the MVP. Do something, bro. Man, you wasn't 100%. Oh, okay, that's cool. When are you ever 100%? In 2024, this last season, I was hurt. Guess what? You're always hurt. It's always Doc Rivers. It's always James Harden. Doc Rivers not a good coach. All right, he never said that. All right, he actually never said that. But Doc Rivers, in my opinion, actually is a bad coach. So I let him slide when it was Doc Rivers. But Doc Rivers, Joel Embiid, and James Harden were on the same team at one point. I was never in on that team. That was an automatic, Holy, that was the worst trio ever. That trio was bad. But the fact that, Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers, they're the two biggest deflectors, in my opinion, in the NBA. Like, nobody deflects as much as these two people. And Joel Embiid, bro, you have Nick Nurse on your team now, one of the best coaches in the league. Bro, the way that y'all were running sets last year was nothing similar to with Doc Rivers. The way that they used you as a hub and always made you a threat was crazy, was insane. And you need to be more willing to set picks and roll. Like, that's something I want to see a little bit more out of Joel Embiid. I understand what he does is amazing though. What he does is amazing. One of the best players in the league. But I want this team to win a championship. Y'all heard me talk about this team. I think that they're really, really good. They just need more out of their number one option. And their number one option, he did step up this year, and he was hurt. He had the best playoff series in his career against the New York Knicks, in my opinion. He played absolutely amazing. And just there's still one issue with the fourth quarters with Joel Embiid, but he played better than usual. And now he's going to have Paul George with him. All right, you see the man, the myth, the legend on the right hand of the screen with Daryl Morey. You see number 8. Hey, Paul George, I got a proposal for you, Paul George. Hey, I'm gonna need a little bit of percent. We'll talk about it in the DMs. You could DM me. But look, paint, Paul 8. Paint. You go hard in the paint. You feel me? I see Paul George was talking about he need a nickname. Hey, why not make your nickname Paint? You feel me? If I need a little bit of percentage for that nickname, you can DM me. You can just swipe up and show love, Paul George. Your new nickname is Paint. You feel me? But either way, Paint is going to be a great option for the 76ers. We already talked about him because in the fourth quarter, they're going to need somebody who could, be another shooting threat and play defense around Joel Embiid because, man, oh, man, oh, man, I wanted y'all to see the day I created this on because as a Heat fan, I was having an argument with somebody, man. My boy Zeno, he think Joel Embiid ain't no issue. And this is what I was talking about, y'all. I'm going to end this video the same way Joel Embiid ends off games, all right? I'm going to end this video the same way Joel Embiid ends off games for you 76ers fans. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. It's going to be annoying, and it's going to be gross because I'm going to show you what he really is. In the last 6 games of the season where he played the New York Knicks, he scored 6 total basketball points, all right? And guess what? He had 6.6 points per fourth quarter. So I'm going to explain what that means to y'all 76ers fans. And y'all going to know it's the truth because y'all watch these games alongside me. I literally dug these stats the day of because this was something I kept track of. This is something Joel Embiid's been doing for years. Y'all could go back years ago and see he always does this. This is something I literally this is literally what I look for when I watch Joel Embiid because it's always been his weakness and it's always been something that holds his team back. And he always points his finger at Ben Simmons. He's been doing this for years. It's been happening since Ben Simmons was on the team. This is an issue. And what I mean by 6 total points, that means points scored on field goals. All right. He made 3 field goals in 6 games in the fourth quarter. That's an issue. Again, I'm going to repeat that. He made 3 field goals in 6 games. 3 field goals in 6 games, but he averaged 6.6 points per fourth quarter. You know why? All he does is shoot free throws, bro. And the reason I'm bringing this up is it's more than just me not liking Joel Embiid. I don't care about Joel Embiid, honestly. He doesn't care about me. I don't care about him neither. But I wish the best for him. And the best for me is Joel Embiid being out of the playoffs as soon as possible because it's enjoyable to watch at fourth quarters. Like, look at this. This is a guy who we're having debates. Is he the GOAT NBA player of all time? and he shoots more free throw attempts than field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. He's actually scared in the fourth quarter. And this is something that's been going on for years and years and years and years and years, man. It's annoying to watch. And it's actually bad basketball when he starts throwing his body on the line for these calls. He's putting other people's livelihoods on the line for these calls. He's putting other people's families in danger because of these calls. Like when he hurt Mitchell Robinson, I remember he had something going on with his family at the time, and him being hurt was actually messed up. I remember something with his kids. I don't remember exactly what it was, but this man was willing to put other people's families on the line for these foul calls, man. And I'm happy when we was playing FIBA, them people up in them FIBA rules wasn't giving it to him because we all see through it, bro. And it's weird, bro. It's weird and it's annoying to watch. And the thing about it is, we got Scam out of bio over here, less shy than Joel Embiid in the fourth quarters against the Boston Celtics, which is one of the best defenses of all time, and he's over there scared against the New York Knickerbockers. Like this is Joel Embiid. This is just who he is on the big stages. He gets scared, he crumples. But guess what? There's no more excuses for you. So this is the season where you could change, in my opinion. But guess what? You've been doing this for years. Even if you do it next season, shout out to you. I'm happy for you. Like I said, don't got no hate for him, but y'all could go back in the past. The past can't change. Y'all could go and look back. He's been doing this his whole career up to what is he, 30 years old now? I have like a 6 season sample size of him doing this. So I could talk my talk, because if he gives you a 1 season sample size next year, shout out to you. I'm happy for you, actually. I'm not saying Joel Embiid could never stop and never win a ring or anything. I talked about this team winning a ring already. It just comes down to the number one option. Can you be a number one option? Can you step up? Do you need Tyrese Maxey to keep averaging 30 points per game in the playoffs for you? You finally went to the podium and gave no excuses this season. That was a shout out to you. I do think you had a slick remark with the Giannis comment, like, oh, when you lose, is that a failure? I do remember a comment like that. I don't remember if that was this season or last season, so whatever. But I do know one thing for sure: Joel Embiid wasn't pointing fingers crazy this year, but he wasn't. I'm happy about that. That's step one. If you would took some more accountability, I would have liked it. You would have been on that podium and said, "I do this every playoff, and I blame other people. I need to apologize to all of them and step up." That would have been a little bit better to me, because he's been doing this for years. But step one is not pointing fingers, so he did step one. Step two is showing up again. Because hey, this year in the playoffs, Joel Embiid did show up. He did show up more than usual, way more than usual. Just do it in the fourth quarter, and y'all can win the championship. You were hurt, I understand that, but you were hurt the year before that. You're hurt before that one. You're hurt before that one. You're always hurt. It's something that's gonna happen. You're 30 years old. I'm just gonna judge you off of what I see. I don't like. Unfortunately, you played, bro. Jimmy Butler was hurt. He didn't play in the playoffs. That's hurt. You played all 6 games. You played great. You did what you always do. Choked in the fourth quarter. You weren't hurt. You were Joel Embiid. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode on the MLD Balls page. And yeah, have a nice day and God bless.